the world's most exotic and extreme dishes you won't believe people eat. Food is a reflection of culture, and in some parts of the world, what's served on the plate might surprise and even shock you. While some cuisines embrace the familiar, others push the boundaries of flavor, texture, and ingredients to create some of the most exotic and extreme dishes on the planet. Stick around as we take you on a journey through the most daring and exotic foods from across the globe. Hackl Iceland. Would you eat fermented shark that smells like ammonia? Hackl is a traditional Icelandic dish made from fermented Greenland shark. The shark is toxic when fresh, so it's buried in gravel for several months to allow it to ferment and become safe to eat. The result is a strong-smelling, chewy delicacy that many describe as having a pungent, ammonia-like odor. For the uninitiated, Hackl is an extreme test of taste, but for Icelanders, it's a taste of tradition. Sonaki, South Korea. Could you eat something that's still moving on your plate? Sonaki is a dish of live octopus, served raw and sliced into small pieces that are still wriggling. Eaten with a dipping sauce of sesame oil and salt, the suction cups on the tentacles continue to squirm as you eat them. Though it's a popular delicacy, it requires caution as the suction cups can stick to the mouth or throat. Sonaki offers a truly interactive dining experience that challenges both your palate and your nerves. Balute Philippines. Could you eat a fertilized duck egg with a partially developed embryo inside? Balut is a fertilized duck egg that contains a partially developed embryo, typically eaten boiled in its shell. The embryo is visible when you crack it open, and diners eat both the yolk and the tiny duckling inside. It's considered a high-protein street food delicacy in the Philippines and other parts of Southeast Asia. Balut challenges Western sensibilities about food, but for many, it's a beloved snack with a unique texture and taste. Kasum, Italy. Would you eat a cheese filled with live maggots? Kasum, often called maggot cheese, is a Sardinian delicacy made from pecorino cheese that's intentionally infested with cheese fly larvae. As the maggots digest the cheese, they create a soft, creamy texture with a sharp, intense flavor. Though the larvae are still alive when eaten, it's illegal in some countries due to health concerns. Kasum is not for the faint-hearted, but for those brave enough to try it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime culinary experience. Fugu Japan. What if eating a fish could be fatal? Fugu is a Japanese pufferfish that contains a deadly toxin called tetrodotoxin, which can be lethal if prepared incorrectly. Only licensed chefs are allowed to prepare fugu, as removing the poisonous parts of the fish requires extreme precision. The thrill of eating fugu lies in its delicate flavor and the risk associated with consuming it. Fugu is the ultimate adrenaline rush for foodies, offering both danger and delicacy on the same plate. Surströmming, Sweden. Would you eat something known as the world's smelliest food? Surströmming is a Swedish delicacy made from fermented Baltic herring, known for its intense and overpowering smell. The fish is left to ferment in barrels for months, then canned, where the fermentation process continues. The result is a fish that's pungent, salty, and often eaten with flatbread and potatoes. The smell of surströmming can be so strong that it's often eaten outdoors to avoid the overwhelming odor, but for fans, the flavor is worth it. Muktuk, Greenland. Could you handle eating raw whale blubber and skin? Muktuk is a traditional Inuit dish made from the skin and blubber of whales, typically bowhead or beluga whales. It's usually eaten raw, frozen, or pickled, and has a chewy texture and fishy taste. Muktuk is rich in vitamins and provides essential nutrients for those living in the Arctic. Muktuk is more than just a food, it's a vital part of Arctic culture, offering nutrition in one of the world's harshest environments. Escam Mexico. What if your next taco was filled with ant larvae? Escamals are ant larvae harvested from the roots of agave plants in Mexico. Known as insect caviar, these larvae have a buttery, nutty flavor and are often served sautéed in butter and spices or used as a filling for tacos. Escamals have been eaten for centuries and are considered a delicacy in Mexican cuisine. Escamels offer a unique and exotic taste, proving that insects have long been a valuable source of protein in many cultures. Cash, Armenia, and Middle East. Would you eat a stew made from cow or sheep's feet and head? Cash is a traditional dish in Armenia and parts of the Middle East, made by boiling the feet, head, and stomach of a cow or sheep. Eaten as a hearty soup, it's typically served with garlic, bread, and sometimes vodka. Cash is considered a delicacy, especially during winter, and is often eaten during social gatherings. Cash is an acquired taste, but its cultural significance and richness in flavor make it a revered dish in many regions. Witchy grubs, Australia. Could you eat giant insect larvae from the Australian outback? Witchy grubs are large, white larvae of moths or beetles, traditionally eaten by indigenous Australians. These fat, protein-rich grubs are either eaten raw, where they have a nutty flavor, or roasted, which gives them a crispy skin and soft, creamy interior. For many Australians, the witchy grub is more than just bush food. It's a traditional delicacy that has sustained communities for centuries. Shaco, Japan. Would you try eating fish sperm sacs? Shaco is a Japanese delicacy made from the sperm sacs of fish, often cod or pufferfish. It has a soft, creamy texture and a mild, slightly sweet flavor. Shaco can be eaten raw, grilled, or steamed, and is considered a high-end dish in Japanese cuisine. Shaco may be unusual to some, but in Japan, it's a sought-after dish that's both rich and luxurious. Fried tarantulas, Cambodia. Would you bite into a crispy fried spider? Fried tarantulas are a popular street food in Cambodia, where they're seasoned with garlic and salt and deep fried until crispy. The spiders are eaten whole, and diners say the legs are crunchy, while the abdomen has a gooey texture. Fried tarantulas are a source of protein and have been eaten in Cambodia for generations. This creepy, crawly delicacy is not just a curiosity for tourists. It's a traditional snack that's both crunchy and savory. From fermented shark to raw octopus, these extreme and exotic dishes push the boundaries of what we think of as food. But for the cultures that created them, these dishes are much more than strange delicacies. They're traditions, livelihoods, and expressions of cultural identity. Whether you'd be willing to try them or not, these foods remind us that the world of cuisine is as diverse and daring as the people who create it. Still hungry? Which of these exotic dishes would you be brave enough to try? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more culinary adventures from around the world.